Hi, this is Wiley Sharp with Catamaran Central, and today's April 1st, which means we're in the first day of the second quarter, which means only one thing, time to talk about all the reported yacht sales, or I should say catamaran sales, that took place in the first quarter of 2023 and compare those to first quarter of 2022. So I've been doing these videos for about 5 years where I share all this sold boat data. And every time I share it, there's always comments, emails that come in about how inflated the market is, how crazy things are. I'm just simply sharing the information and interpreting it the way that I see it. I do not set market rates. Buyers set market rates. So these figures are what people are willing to pay for boats, not necessarily what a seller is willing to take. But a market is driven by the buyer, not by the seller. So this data is actual sold boat data on where the market is. Now, a lot of things have happened between first quarter of last year and first quarter of this year. The Fed's increased interest rates quite significantly to try to curb inflation. We've also got a war going on in the Ukraine, a couple of bank failures, et cetera, et cetera. So what impact has all of that had on the market the first quarter of 2023? Before we dive into the numbers, I'll just remind everybody that all this information can be found in a link in the description down below. So if you do want to get all this data to be able to interpret it on your own, click on the link down below. Also, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as ring the bell. Let's go ahead and jump into the numbers. So in 2022, there were 145 units sold in the first quarter. In 2023, there was 162 units, which is an increase of 11.72%. Now, I've got all of this data broken into the big three manufacturers, Fountaine, Peugeot, Leopard, Lagoon. For the sake of keeping this video less than 10 minutes long, I'm going to not talk about all of that here in the video, just go over the macro, and you can click on the links down below to get make and model specific information. So in 2022, in the first quarter, the average days on market for catamarans was 126 days. For 2023, miraculously, it was also 126 days. Now, we did see a couple of changes with the big three in terms of velocity of sale. Both Lagoon and Fountaine Peugeot actually had a decrease in time on the market. Leopard had a increase in time on the market. In terms of pricing on catamarans, this time last year in the first quarter of 2022, the average asking price was $433,000 US. For this year, it was $474,000 US. Now, the actual sold price in the first quarter averaged out to $421,000, and for 2023, it averaged out to $441,000. Now, I always like to talk about percentage of ask, which is asking price, selling price, and what was that percentage? So for the first quarter of last year, it was 95.3%. For this quarter, this year, it was 96.8%. And then the average age of the boat in 2022 was 8 years old. This year, it was 7 years old. So not really a huge change in age there. So all in all, this is looking back on the last 3 months. God only knows what's going to happen in Q2, Q3. We're personally off to a great start for Q3. Only the future will tell us what happens. We right now have the luxury of hindsight. What I can say is we're definitely seeing more inventory, but we're not necessarily seeing a decrease in pricing. But it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with that trend in the second quarter. So that's kind of all the data there. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below, shoot me an email. And as always, if you like what I have to say, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks and have a good day.